Good evening, my friend. Welcome to the show. Welcome to WDW Live. I am Lou Mangello, and I am not in a Disney park again tonight. Thank you or you're welcome. First things first, if you're watching live, I'll explain. If you're watching live, please do me a favor, grab a snack, sit back, relax, get comfortable, and tag and invite a friend to join us. And if you're watching on the replay, don't forget to not only turn on notifications, but join us every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. And I prefaced it by saying that clearly, obviously, I'm not in a park for a little while. I had all intentions on going out to a park tonight, and then one, the day got away from me, and then two, I remember, not that I forgot, but I have, God willing, the WW Radio cruise coming up this weekend. Our Marvel Day at Sea cruise leaves on Saturday. I am petrified of testing positive at the port, so I have been, for basically over a week, been quarantining, locking down by myself, really basically in this room. So, and as I was scrambling to get ready for the show tonight, and I realized I was like, I wanted to do something new and different. We did an Ask Me Anything last week. I certainly don't want to talk about Book of Boba Fett yet. We'll talk about that in the spoiler support group. There's already conversations going on. If you haven't watched it, watch it. No spoilers, but wow, is it the best episode ever? It might be. Answer that for yourself in the spoiler support group, and I will stop it right there. And literally, I think because our minds are sort of somewhat at rest. Duncan Wardle asks this question all the time. Where do most of your best ideas come from? Like, where are you when you have your best ideas? Is it sitting at your desk? Is it doing your work? Probably not. It's in the shower. So, literally moments ago, I had this idea while in the shower. I said, Valentine's Day is coming up. It's a very romantic time of year. I want to do something about romance in Walt Disney World, and I was going to share a top 5 live list of what probably would have started out as my top 5 romantic restaurants in Walt Disney World. You pretty much could see where that list would have gone. And I said, no, I want to do something different. I say all the time that part of the reason why I love the live show so much is because it really is an unscripted conversation between the two of us and all of us that I want you to not only be a passive observer in, but I want you to be an active part of, right? I always say this show is by, for, with, and about you. And that's part of the reason, that's what the live show is able to bring to that equation. So tonight, in a not so very well thought out, but spur of the moment, impulsive idea and sort of new concept for the show, we're going to try something different, where instead of let's make a deal, let's make a list. We're going to let's make a list live. And because Valentine's Day, ladies and gentlemen, I'm giving you heads up notice in case you forgot, Valentine's Day is in 12 days. So you need to start thinking about whatever you need to start thinking about. So instead of let's make a deal, excuse me, we are going to make some lists together, right? We're going to pull these lists together in a very non-scientific yet hopefully oh so very fun kind of way. So I wrote in the Clubhouse and on the WDW Radio page, I wanted to sort of seed your mind a little bit with some ideas or some things that we're talking about. And maybe at the end, or if you want to help sort of pull these lists together, we can share it in the Clubhouse for further discussion. And if somebody wasn't able to make the show tonight, we can continue the conversation there in the community. So I said I wanted to go over a few different things. I'll share some of mine. I'll certainly want to hear and share some of yours as well. And because we're friends, when we think of romance, what's the first thing we think of? Not flowers, not jewelry, it's restaurants. So I want to hear from you. What is your favorite, best of the best, whatever you want to call it, romantic restaurant in Walt Disney World? Jeff C. is driving from Texas to Miami for the cruise right now because of snow. Be safe. wear your hazmat suit. Wear your hazmat suit. So I want to hear from you. We're going to start off with restaurants. Where do you think is the most, or one of the most romantic restaurants in Walt Disney World? And you can sort of add more to that if you want, like Matthew Woolley does. He says, personal chef making your favorite Disney dish in one of the Poly bungalows while you eat out on the deck, watching the fireworks across the water, or Matthew Woolley, you have set the bar ridiculously high for everybody else coming in after you. That is an insane and awesome idea that hopefully, if that's not something you're able to do, your spouse, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, doesn't hear, because it's ridiculously awesome. Tim Begonia scales it back a little bit. Says California Grill. I think that too is where a lot of people go. The decor, the atmosphere, the fireworks, and if you just get one of those perfect, not so crazy hot and humid nights, and you go out on one of the two. I actually prefer the left balcony over the right balcony. You get amazing views of the fireworks, and it usually isn't very crowded out there as well. Mary T. Wells puts Narcoossee's on the list, a restaurant I actually haven't been to in years. I agree. If you get a table, though, by the windows, which are really like over water windows, and if you time it right, you also, too, get either fireworks at Magic Kingdom, electrical water pageant, some more votes for California Grills. Derek Pellerin mentioned some place called the Boathouse. That's why we're friends, Derek. Look, a Boathouse is clearly on my list because I think you could have... The thing I like about Boathouse is you could not only have a casual meal inside or out, but you can very easily dial that meal up to a business meeting as well as a very romantic meal. There are certain areas of the Boathouse too that lend themselves to that. So if you want something more casual and you go out past the dockside bar to some of those comfortable and cozy seats by the water, that's one. You can also ask for a seat, depending on weather, outside all the way in the back. So if you ask for a seat sort of on the back porch, which is what I just decided I'm calling it, that second room in the back all the way, there's 2 or 3 seats kind of like tucked in the corner that are semi-private, very, very romantic. I know because I've had 2 or 3 business meals there, but it actually is a great romantic place to go. So I'm happy that you mentioned. Katrina Kenny mentions Jico, same thing too. Location. There's also a private dining room in there as well, which I believe seats maybe 10 or so, but anything comes at a price, dearie, if you want it bad enough. So even some of those semi-private spaces can be made prices. Rich Watts, I absolutely agree about Blue Zoo, which pre-Boathouse was my favorite restaurant in Walt Disney World. Mike certainly coming in with Victoria and Albert's. Becky's talking about drinks. Becky, we're talking about romantic restaurants. We're not on the drink part. It's so interesting where everybody, whatever. A lot of love for California Grill, Narcoossee's, Victoria and Albert's. California Grill, Narcoossee's seem to be, if anybody's keeping score at home, Kevin Shea, I absolutely agree about Topolino. Topolino is a latecomer, being relatively new, but you can even have like a romantic brunch, lunch, certainly dinner. Whether you eat inside, you have some cocktails or desserts before or after, and go outside on the deck. I love Topolino's, and the sunsets there are spectacular. Kevin Lively says, Skipper Canteen. Let me explain. Albert Falls' wife, Victoria Falls, is named after my wife, Ashley Marie, so she calls the model boat the Malapo Marie her boat. It's a very specific romantic answer from Skipper Kevin. The garbage cans outside the Rose and Crown, fish and chips, baby. Linda Raymond, the important thing to know about this question, and I think all the entire topic tonight, is anything can be romantic if you want it to be, including like eating on a trash can. I have, and I am a romantic at heart, but you could make the simplest, easiest, inexpensive things romantic if you so want it to be. Like Heather Richards says, beaches and cream. I totally dig it. I am down. Dress up and go to Victorian Albert's. Mike Osmond says, I see Victorian Albert's and I'll raise you White Castle. I think you could look. Like I said, it's not about where you go, it's who you're with and the fun that you make. Look, I think you can. The fact that you go to Disney World looking for something romantic, I think, speaks volumes about what is important and fun and romantic to you. Another vote for Jico. Amy comes in with Raglan Road, which sometimes can be noisy, although you can find some spaces in some of the far corners, especially in the music room, all the way in the back. Timing is also everything, but again, I think the music and the atmosphere for some people absolutely would find it. Christine, again, coming in with Topolino's. So Tara Rose says the Boathouse Champagne Cruise. I absolutely would have put on the experience part I would have put the boat, which unfortunately is no longer there. So that 40-foot Venezia Italian watercraft is no longer at Boathouse. Not sure if that specific boat is ever going to return. It suffered some damage and may have moved on to some not so greener pastures. Tim Begoni, for an anniversary dinner, I made custom menus filled with photos and the actual California Grill menus. Listen, these are great ideas, and all of a sudden, maybe I'm not the most romantic person in the world. The chef's table at Victorian Albert's, Narcoossee's, Trails End. Love the trip to get there. The bus, the monorail boat ride, great food. And then you take a nice little romantic walk afterwards. More love for it. So it looks like Narcoossee's, Victorian Albert's is almost like its own thing. Like it's like a de facto entry on the list. California Grill, Topolino's Terrace seem to be getting a lot of love. Rachel, I agree too about Wine Bar George. And again, romantic restaurant does not necessarily mean like dressing up for dinner. I think you could have a romantic brunch in Wine Bar George, especially some of the sweetheart two-person tables outside overlooking Disney Springs when there's live music playing outside. You get that. Actually, if you get that at like sunset and you've got the water, you've got the live music, that's a nice day or night right there. Does the egg roll cart outside of Adventureland? Derek, let me tell you something. You know how to impress the ladies or gentlemen. Listen, it would work on me. So I love Brown Derby. Japan, says Andrew Milan. Anna, yes, I did reference Once Upon a Time, which I loved for the first like 2 or 3 seasons, and then like huge drop off for me. We ate at Le Cellier for the first time ever. We were there a week and a half ago. It was fantastic. Steakhouse 71, says Caleb Joshua Hill. I don't disagree. That's if only there was somebody who would pick. I haven't eaten dinner. I had like broccoli for lunch. Like if only there was somebody who would bring me to Steakhouse 71 for a smash burger. Cosmic Rays, dinner and the smooth sounds of sunny eclipse. It's very interesting that you bring sunny eclipse and Cosmic Rays up. Cosmic Ray and the Space Angels are going to come up in conversation on this week's upcoming show, which I loved recording, by the way, and I think it's a very, very interesting topic and sort of detailed, somewhat academic look at something in Walt Disney World. I am so excited to release it and hear your thoughts. That's enough vaguing. Let's see. So romantic on the trash can. Look, Becky, what can I say? It's who I am. Let's see. Geyser Point. Rachel, that's a great pull. Geyser Point. What I like about Geyser Point, too, is it's not a very crowded restaurant. So the noise level, except right by the bar sometimes, especially if sports are going on, is usually not very high, but you get one of those seats. So here's a pro tip, and we did this a few weeks ago when I was there with Becky in a not very non-romantic kind of way, but you can be seated inside the Geyser Point proper, but there's also those very comfy cushioned seats right by the water that you can also like order from Geyser Point menu and then like bring it there yourself. So you almost get a better view sitting at some of those than you do sitting inside of the restaurant. Jason Nacera, ding ding, give this man $1. The Katsura Grill with the lanterns and koi pond. If you know me, you know that that's my favorite location anywhere in Walt Disney World, and I do think it's very romantic up there. Even when I'm eating inordinate amounts of sushi all by myself, it doesn't matter. I'm having a me party, and it's romance for one. It's fine. Let's see. Lady and the Tramp shared spaghetti on top of a barrel. Why can't trash cans be romantic? We are all of the same mindset. Yachtsman Steakhouse, Blue Bayou at Disneyland. Landscape of Flavors, Walk Around Art of Animation Resort. Then Pop Century, and oh yeah, the Skyliner. So I was waiting for this Kevin Shea. I was surprised nobody said Monsieur Paul at in France. I have only been there once in a business context, but I sat there going, this actually would be a very nice romantic restaurant. And I think you're right. I think any of the restaurants in France would qualify, including the Creperie. There's something romantic, especially if you each get crepes and then you share. You got to that Lady and the Tramp action, and you get to have 2 crepes. So that's usually my motivation. Do some of the restaurants still pack picnics? I don't believe so. Although, if you are staying, so let me think about this. If you are staying at a certain, like, somebody mentioned earlier about the bungalows. Like, I think if you're staying at the Polynesian, I know that they used to be able to bring you room service from Ohana. I think that's also true. It was true for some time at the Grand. I'm not sure if that is still the case. Gina Flacco is a romantic at heart. Nothing says I love you like an Everglazed donut or 7. It's not eating, but Pandora at night is very romantic. Chris, and when you get to Places and Spaces, I absolutely agree 100%. Chef de Paris is a lovely one. With the right person, it can have fluorescent lights, and I wouldn't care. But Takumi Te absolutely works. And I think that's the point, right? It doesn't have to be a quote-unquote romantic restaurant per se. It's wherever you go to sort of make it romantic. Although some, like Takumi Te, lend it to themselves. Dear sweet baby Jesus, and the folks over in Japan, please, please, please let Takumi Te open soon, because I cannot wait to get there. Mary Wells says 3 Bridges. A lot of love for 3 Bridges. What was the name of the boat? It was the Venezia. It was the Venezia and is no longer there. We were there a few weeks ago, and ixnay. Tutti Gusto Wine Cellar, Maureen Carey. That's a great pull. I didn't even think about that. Becky and I did a live review there, those many years ago. Again, purely business, recording setting, but you're right. And I think you spend the day in Epcot, you go there like before park close, you sit, you sort of leisurely take your time, and then you walk out and you post fireworks and you have that promenade to yourself. That is a really good night right there. Let me see. Any other ones that we missed? Morimoto Asia is gorgeous and so much fun for a couple. Liberty Tree, because I love stuffing, which is fine. Enzo's Hideaway. Andrew Milan, also a really nice pull, especially maybe you get one of the, oh my God, why am I drawing a blank? If you get a booth up against the wall. So, all right, so after, I think we've hit on most of the restaurants. What about resorts? What do you think is the most romantic resort in Walt Disney World? If you really wanted to wow somebody and think about it in terms of, it's romantic because it's really easy to get to Magic Kingdom. No, I want you to think about a resort that you would want to spend time in with that special someone. What do you think is the most romantic resort in Walt Disney World, and why? Of course, Jackie says the Hoop-Dee-Doo review. Again, anything can be romantic if you want it to be. So I have a feeling Kate Wallace is not going to be the only one who says Grand Floridian. Amanda Catherine Cicero, my first thought was actually the Riviera. I have really, really, really come to love and appreciate that resort for a lot of different reasons. I'll throw out some of my other ones, which I think are lend themselves to romance. Certainly, Grand Floridian does. I think places like Boardwalk, specifically if you get one of the cottages, there are two-story cottages that have these wonderful little courtyards out in front of them. Polynesian, again, sort of if you want to scale up and do something like a bungalow, I see a lot of Polynesian coming in. Gina Flacco, another one on my list was Port Orleans French Quarter. I have a lot of love for that resort, not specifically for the food, but because it's small, because it's quaint. The buildings are only 3 stories. I love the wrought iron and the music in the background. You go to French Quarter, especially during the right times of year, and you take just a sunset walk when they bring back the horse-drawn carriages, even a boat ride down the Sassagoula. Those really, really make that, and both of the Port Orleans resorts, I think, very, very romantic. A lot of Ellen and Matt Shaw, Grand Floridian because we spent our honeymoon there. Old Key West because it's very peaceful. Krista Fisher says, I love Yacht Club. Beatrice Stenner says, I love a carriage ride at Port Orleans Resort. Animal Kingdom Lodge because of the lighting and setting at night. It's so far away, but they also have bread service. So there's that. Nothing says I love you like late night bread service. The Treehouse Villas, great idea, Mark Jones, are nice and secluded. I also agree, Sean Rager, about Wilderness Lodge. And I think Wilderness Lodge, any level of room there will do it. Certainly if you can get one of the bungalows, one of the cabins, you're sort of turning the romance up to 11. But I agree. I think that is same thing. Like, especially if you're over on the villa side where it's very, very quiet and you've got, I keep on calling it the Iron Spike Room, the Carolwood Pacific Room, the different fireplaces you can sit in front of. I think there's something very romantic about a fire, so I'm partial to fireplaces. Glenda says we love Riverside. It has beautiful grounds. Art of Animation, Polynesian, Fort Wilderness. Love the cabins and the camping. Another vote for Riviera. Excuse me. So it seems like a lot of people go, right to places like Grand Floridian. I think because we think of the upscale elegance, but you don't necessarily need to be at a deluxe resort in order for it to be romantic. Tim Begonia coming in once again. I think he's the most romantic man on the planet. The old garden suites where Bay Lake is, first floor, walk out to the beach was so romantic. So much so that where I proposed as the moonlight. Oh, wait a minute. It's so long. Hold on. As the moonlight reflected on the water. Can we get some romantic music and dim the lights in here, please? And the lights of the contemporary glistened in the background. Just saying. You're a hopeless romantic, Tim. And one of the many things I love about you. Copper Creek is a peaceful evening, says Chris. Boardwalk, Pop Century, Coronado Springs, Grandestino Tower. I feel the need for a resort. Ooh, wow, puberty just hit. Hey, everybody. A resort report. I know, as soon as the cruise is over, it's going to be resort report time. I can see the Caribbean beach, the beach and the hammocks at night, says Kate Wallace. Riverside for sure, says Paige. Polynesian. Interesting. Nobody mentioned contemporary other than, so I actually remember, and I wonder, Tim and others, how long those garden wings are going to stay. A few years ago, I stayed there and did a live show from there. It was sort of pre-resort report, but it was sort of, I think maybe it was the first resort report, wasn't it? When I stayed in one of the garden wings one night there. They've relatively recently been refurbished, but I think a lot of people forget about those. And like you said, Tim, they're out of the way and they're very quiet, but certainly an easy walk over to the main tower. So a lot of love for the Polynesian, a lot of love for Grand Floridian, Port Orleans coming in hot as a romantic location, a golf cart ride around Fort Wilderness. Maggie, it's one of my favorite things to do. I don't get to do it enough, but I love taking golf cart rides at Fort Wilderness, certainly during the holidays and Halloween. But I think even So here is a an off the cuff proposed romantic night or weekend. You rent a cabin at Fort Wilderness. You get a golf cart. You drive around at night. You have um, you have dinner there. Or you take a boat over to Magic Kingdom. You walk around. I think, again, you can sort of make that casual resort romantic depending on how you approach it. Wilderness Lodge cabins are amazing. Dan Pittman, I have been in them. I have never stayed in them. I would love a hammock for two at night by the water at Caribbean Beach, watching the Epcot fireworks. I dig every single part of that. I think we all need more hammock time in our lives. Um, I love hammocks, and I just don't get enough time to do it. Riverside for sure. Polynesian. Another one for Caribbean Beach. Tri Circle D Ranch. Hey, whatever you call romantic is fine. So I think this is leading us into, even from our conversation of restaurants and resorts, what are just some of the most romantic places and spaces in Walt Disney World? So I want you to think about a place in the parks, throughout the resorts, that you would just go with that or hopeful significant other to spend some time. And we'll talk about things to do specifically next. So in terms of actual activities, but where are just some of the most romantic places? So I'll give you some examples. Even inside the parks, I think there's a plethora of romantic spaces. So Animal Kingdom, despite it being so incredibly far away, some of the hidden pathways, both I was about to call it Genesis Garden, both in the Oasis and as well as in that some of those paths behind the Tree of Life, in between Africa and Asia, you walk through those quietly, slowly, at dusk. I love it. The Polynesian Beach, the Liberty Square Riverboat. I kid you not, especially if you go during a not crowded time. There's something, and so the next thing I want to say is watercraft, right? Renting watercraft, whether it's a water sprite, a pontoon boat, a fishing excursion, whatever. Clearly, a lot of my things revolve around the water, but I do find that there is something not only soothing and serene about it, but also very, very romantic as well. So, Heather, the fireplace at the Grand Floridian, you combine fireplace and water, like at the cabins at Wilderness Lodge, which, by the way, Becky, I would have no problem doing a resort report from. Just if people need to see it, like firsthand, I'm a giver. So, Heather, fireplaces at Wilderness Lodge, the waterfalls at Canada, walking through the France Pavilion with a nice glass of wine. So, Christine Morrison, I think the waterfalls in Canada is a really, really nice, semi-obscure pull, because I think a lot of people don't, if you're not going to see O Canada, and you should, if you're not going to see O Canada, most guests miss that really sort of hidden pathway that takes you right next to the waterfall. Like, if it's your thing, you're looking to propose, do something romantic, I think that's a very serene, romantic, out of the way spot. Really, really nice one. Minus the bathroom, the tangled area is so romantic to find all the Pascals. The side of the castle by Sleepy Hollow. Kate Wallace, if you sit all the way in the back corner up against the Hall of Presidents building, it's actually very, very quiet back there most times during the day. The soft chairs in the bar area by Artist Point at Wilderness Lodge. Really, really, I like that one a lot. The walk near the train tracks in Magic Kingdom. So, Angie, I think you're meaning like between Storybook Circus and Tomorrowland. Disney Springs with the lit tree at night, and I think Grand Floridian at night is fantastic. Epcot at night. Main Street, USA. Cinderella's Wishing Well just happens to be my engagement spot, but it's very quiet and has a beautiful view. The train, when it reopens. Mary, I agree. I think there's something incredibly romantic about trains. I love trains. I don't get to go on them as often as I would like, but like one of my favorite things to do when we've done our Alaska group cruises is take it's called the White Hall Pass, the White Pass train. It's just so wonderful. I know it's not a romantic setting. It's there's something I think very romantic, or romantical about a train ride. Two words: gurgling suitcase, says Derek. Tom, I think Skyliner, especially now as they continue to, excuse me, run the Skyliner one party at a time, you get that Skyliner to yourself. Again, nighttime, dusk. It's, I agree 100%. And it's free. It is free. So, Nomads. Oh, the deck at Nomad Lounge and the Pandora Pass. So I agree 110% about Nomad Lounge. The Japan Pavilion finish line of any Disney races with sweaty hugs. The hedge maze around the back of the UK Pavilion. Also, usually not a lot of people back there at all. Wedway People Mover. Kevin Shea, I'm digging your entries. The Boathouse with a Filet Slider. Jeff, I agree with you. There's absolutely, if only like one, I just need one person to go with me. I mean, I can go by myself, but it's, it's better. You can order more food when there's two people. Snuggling on Spaceship Earth. Tom Sawyer. Kim Hazard, I agree about Tom Sawyer Island. You're in Magic Kingdom. You want to sort of get away, because most of the time it's not really crowded there. You want to get away and just do a little hand in hand, walk around the island, like laugh, and I agree 1,000%. And if you can catch one of the rocking chairs. Clearly, I'm hungry. Rocking chairs over at Aunt Polly's Yahtzee. Mexico Pavilion. After a few margaritas, I'll just leave that one right there. One margarita, no margaritas, or in some people's case, many margaritas. Morocco at night in the back. I also agree. The monorail. The koi ponds in Japan, I think any and all. I think there's a lot of romantic spots in Japan. I think if you want to watch the fireworks from a romantic spot, go upstairs from Mitsukoshi outside of Tokyo Dining. You're allowed to stand up there to watch fireworks. You can actually go and stand in the far corner, and there's usually nobody there. You have a really beautiful, why do I keep giving away all these good spots? You have a beautiful, unobstructed view of the Torii Gate, Spaceship Earth, Harmonious. It's really, really nice up there as well. Tower and Terror, my wife falls for me every time. I need to read these before I actually click on them. The balcony hidden upstairs at Pinocchio Village House. Mike, give this guy a gold star. So we were there in a non-romantic setting. I don't remember what we were there for. We were there with a group of people. I don't know if it was around the holidays. I don't know. It was something. But there's not a lot of people up there, and you get great views of Fantasyland as well. It's also a nice place to sort of get away to work. I'm going to do that too. I have to do my top 10 places, because life goes on, even on vacation. Top 10 places. Somebody please email me this and remind me this. Top 10 places to get work done in Walt Disney World. And I might share my super secret spot that I don't think I've ever talked about before. Like, there's one that I literally keep it like the ace in the hole, because I don't want to share it, because it is such a cool, and there's never anybody there spot. But I will share at least 9 others that fit. Peter Pan, upstairs at the train station, the France expansion at night. Amanda, I agree 1,000%. I love the Ratatouille adventure exterior space as much, if not more, than I love the attraction itself. Not just because of the crepes, which I also need to do a live review of. My problem, obviously, finding somebody to do it with me. The Grand Destino Lounge needs more love. I think Dahlia Lounge is also another place that is romantic. The super secret spot was at the Beach Club upstairs. So Kenny and Thayer. So if you go to the Beach Club from the front door, you walk to the right. There's a small semicircular staircase to the right. If you go there and then hang a hard left, there's actually an executive desk there with an executive chair and then two meeting chairs, and it's a huge desk, and there's bookcases and lamps. Like, it looks like an office space almost. It almost looks like we're like a concierge desk, but you can go and I dig it because I have worked up there while waiting for somebody once at Beach Club, and I needed to sort of get away and just be quiet with my laptop. That's a great pull. So the Haunted Mansion Snuggies in the Doom Doom Buggy Snuggies, says Mark Jones. Animal Kingdom down on the water behind the tea place. Heather, I'll give you another spot. So if you walk to if you're walking from the entrance to Animal Kingdom towards Africa, and you go in from the main African entrance on the left-hand side, before you get to the gates, there's a small hidden pathway. Not so hidden. I mean, it's relatively hidden because most people know. There's a small hidden pathway that takes you down by the water. There's nobody there. There's a waterfall there, and you literally can go behind the waterfall in an area that's close to the exit to Tough to Be a Bug. There's like two animal exhibits there that you can only see from there. You have a beautiful view of Tree of Life and the river and the waterfall. You get as up close as you can to any of the carvings. That's another place. I'll add that to, and thank you, Jim, for the top 10 places to get work done. The caves on Tom Sawyer. God, I haven't been to Tom Sawyer Island. You know what I'm gonna do? I'll have to do it once daylight saving is over, so it's still light out at 7:30, so I can go to Tom Sawyer Island, or maybe I'll just do one during the day. We'll take a little virtual visit to Tom Sawyer Island, and we will just spend a little time walking through Tom Sawyer Island, because I'm sure I'm not the only one who hasn't been there in a long, long time. Any of the lounges? Kevin Shea, I'm going to do, at some point, a top 10 lounges in Walt Disney World. If only, watch this, if only there was anybody that I could get to do like a top lounge, best of the best lounges in Walt Disney World with me. I've been searching for years to find somebody. I can hear that? That's Becky screaming in her house. Her poor cats. Let's see. Paige Miller from Texas. How are you? All right, so those are some of the most romantic places and spaces. What about things to do? What about some romantic things to do in Walt Disney World? And I mean specifically like activities. Understanding that not everything post-COVID-ish is back up and running again. You can't necessarily do all of those things. But I think there are some really and I think this is important, because I think for people who've never been here before, you don't necessarily associate romance with Walt Disney World, right? We're talking about restaurants and resorts, fine. But when you talk about activities, there's not a lot of things for some people that come to mind. I disagree. I think that renting a pontoon boat or renting a water mouse and just sort of slowly tooling around Bay Lake or Seven Seas Lagoon is very romantic. I think characters in flight, especially if you go and there's nobody else on there, which happens quite often, can be very, very romantic for just the two of you. Do a wine tasting, right? And you don't even need to be a big drinker, but I think there are wine tasting experiences at places like Chico, Wine Bar George, or even you sort of do your own wine tasting tour of Walt Disney World. The resorts, the restaurants, Disney Springs, World Showcase. You can do an amazing, and there are some places like Chico has the largest selection of South Africa wines outside of South Africa. So there's exceptional like culinary opportunities that way. Like you can sort of create your own wine tasting culinary adventures. I've never done it before, but I hear it's nice to do something like a spa day. Do a couple's spa day. And there's some amazing Mandara Spa, and I've never actually spa'd in there, but I've toured it. Mandara Spa is gorgeous. It's at the Dolphin. It's on the Dolphin side of the Walt Disney World Swan and Dolphin. So some of your thoughts in terms of ideas are Uh, Gina Flacco says a fireworks cruise. Karen St. Pierre, simple and romantic, riding the carousel. Deb, I love this. I love miniature golf. It's the only sport. All right, I suck at it too, but it's the only sport I can say that I can actually play. It's fun. It's funny. It can be very, very, very romantic. Sharing an ice cream cone. I prefer to let everybody get their own. Horseback rides, carriage rides. Bree, really, I love the carriage rides. You can do them at Fort Wilderness. You can do them at Port Orleans. I think you can also do them at Old Key West. You can take them from Old Key West. Private boat tour on Seven Seas Lagoon during fireworks. A lot of love for the fireworks. The Sangria University at Coronado Springs is very romantic. So I've seen it, like when they open the resort. I haven't actually done the experience. You want to know why? Nobody to do it with me. That's all I'm looking for. Just somebody, anybody. Sitting at a table at La Cava de Tequila, one of our most favorite things to do, so private, I agree. As loud and as crowded as that place becomes, if you're in the romantic moment, I think you're able to, and you should be able to, drown out and block out everything else that's going on around you. And you can and should feel like you were the only people there. Not to get all like wishy-washy, but I think that's what, and I think La Cava is a great place. I agree, especially because it's small. And if you get a table in the corner and you got those the tiled walls, it's gorgeous. I'm such a chill girl. I'll go with behind the scenes tour, horseback riding. I dig that because remember, everybody defines romance differently. Senses Spa at the Grand Flow. The most romantic thing that we do is just sit and enjoy being there, finding a spot at Epcot and just enjoy being there together. And it's nice and inexpensive too. I dig that. I did it with a friend, but Savor the Savannah would be an amazing date night. I actually think when it comes back, like even doing something like romantic doesn't have to be like, you know, clanging your glasses of wine together over some firework in the sky, water. Like the Wild Africa Trek can be romantic because it's an activity that you're able to do together. Playing foot golf. Yeah, Chris, I tried that once. I had graphics together. I had a whole sheet laid out with the WDW Radio Foot Golf Tournament. And then I'm like, oh, wait a second. You're Lou Mangello. You have no athletic prowess, and you don't really need to put yourself in a position where you can embarrass yourself further. And I scrapped that idea for now. The bowling tournament's coming, though. Because I've only been talking about that for like 12 years. Sangria University is fantastic. I might just have to review that because I'm not really a drinker, but I do like sangria. So I got to just let me make myself a note. Find anyone you can bribe to do Sangria University with you. Maybe just hang out and see if someone will let you sit with them. Okay. A private nighttime safari at Animal Kingdom Lodge, getting a Dole Whip by the Polynesian and hanging out there. Late afternoon hammock at Coronado Springs with the low sun and breeze. Stephen Johnson, I dig how you think, brother. Night swimming and a pool bar. I like that one too. A pool day at Yacht and Beach Club with umbrella drinks. I also agree. And that's what I mean. I think that there is a lot to do, and like anything, like if you have that person that you know or you want to know better, and it's like you're a Disney fan, it's a place for kids. It's a matter of finding their entry point, right? The thing that you can introduce Disney World to them, whether it's golf, whether it's resorts, whether it's water sports, fine dining, entertainment, whatever it might be. I think Cirque du Soleil, you absolutely should add onto your list of romantic things to do. Make it a night in Disney Springs. Do a little show. You do dinner, a show, and then a little like après show night at one of the waterside lounges or bars there, or Wine Bar George, or Homecoming. It doesn't matter. late night bread service. Maureen, if Maureen, every Wednesday, that's all I talk about is late night bread service. I'm still wait every night, and I look out the window like a puppy, just hoping that somebody's like, Lou, I'm here. I'm here to. I mean, not tonight because I can't go out because of the cruise, but you understand what I mean. So, Jim's going to Cirque in a few weeks. Jim, I love, love, love Cirque. I've seen it twice. I took my family. I saw it the first time as part of an event. I literally walked out the door and I bought 4 tickets for my family. My daughter is a theater kid. She wants to do stage management. So part of my motivation was for her. And I was watching her as much as I was watching the show. And when she came out, she was practically in tears. Like saying it was her favorite show. It's the best thing she ever saw. And I think that she was caught up in the moment. I asked her this question. She had a friend over here the other night from theater. I asked them both that same question. And without a blinking an eye, she said Cirque du Soleil. So it is that good. And I think it's a really, really, really nice evening at Disney Springs. So we talk about restaurants, resorts, places and spaces, things to do. What about... that doesn't go there. That one goes. This one goes there. That one goes there. What's a romantic gift at Disney that you can get for somebody? And I'm sort of combining this one with another one, which was like a surprise. What's a romantic surprise or gift that you would get someone at Walt Disney World? So what is something that you would do for them? Would it be, and look, anything is possible with the right amount of money at Disney, obviously. So if you want to contact Disney Floral and Gifts and have a romantic bouquet of flowers, balloons, gifts waiting in your room when you come back from a day, you can have it there. If you want those things when you first check in, they can be there. If you want a cake brought to a restaurant, they can do that too. Like anything literally is possible. And you can sort of scale that up or down however you see fit. I think some really nice gifts, and gentlemen, ladies, I'm going to give you this idea for free. I think Pandora is one of the best things that ever happened to gift giving ever. Why? Because if you buy that special someone a Pandora bracelet and a charm, maybe to commemorate or memorialize a certain trip, you're golden for a while. Why? Because every birthday, every Christmas, Hanukkah, holiday, Festivus, Groundhog Day, you know what you're going to do. You're going to go buy another Pandora charm. It also gives you something like when you visit other Disney resorts, they have charms that are specific and exclusive to those resorts. They have ones that are limited edition, special releases, but it's a nice way to sort of carry your memories with you of the time that you spent together on a bracelet. Of course, when you fill the bracelet up, then mazel tov, you're on your own. But I think Pandora is a great gift, and it's fun, and they're not really expensive either. I heard a couple's cruise on the Galactic Star Cruiser is going to be super romantic. Annual passes. That's a great idea, Amanda. VIP tour guide. Shocker that came from Becky. That should surprise nobody in the room. Couple shirts. I'm not a couple shirts guy. You lost me on the couple shirts. I'm not the I love you, I know. I'm with stupid. I'm not a couple shirts guy. A DVC contract. Chris, woo, way to turn up the dial. Treating them to a tour, special flowers delivered to your room, a photo shoot session, Amanda, is a really, really nice idea too. I get myself a Pandora based on each trip. It's a gift to me. A VIP tour. The best gift I ever got was check your My Disney experience. Your annual pass is activated. It literally is the gift that keeps on giving all year long. Molly Enquist, great idea. The Olszewski shadow boxes. I'm not going to turn around, but I have like 2 up here, and I think I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 downstairs. I love those. They're small. They're beautiful. They're easy to display. They're not ridiculously expensive. They run probably between like $75 and $125 each. And I love Robert Olszewski. Like as an artist, as a person, he is incredibly gifted. As a really, the Olszewski shadow box is really, really nice idea. Chris Hemsworth, he's a VIP option as not. That's outside my purview. I can neither confirm nor I'm going to say probably not. I'm going to say probably not. In room, roses and gifts. A wonderful surprise on our honeymoon from my hubby. I mean, I hope it was from your hubby. Otherwise, that would have been a really, really awkward. Um, God, God help the person who tries to get me a charm for every occasion. So romantic. Just whatever happened to the thought that counts. Poor Brad. Safety Dave Flipkowski. What's going on, man? Long time. Dave, we're talking about your favorite topic in the world, which is romantic gifts at Walt Disney World. Dave is probably the consummate romantic. Like, you see Dave, you're like, that guy's a romantic at heart. Let's see. Paulo on DCL says Amanda Panda. Also not a bad idea. Aduni and Burke. A D23 membership. Katie, I did. I went from I love you, I know, Tom was, I couldn't think of anything. Like, I'm his Belle, he's my beast, whatever. Like, it's whatever. You know who is a romantic guy? And I'm not kidding. It's Carlos Eduardo Silva from PontoOrlando.com. And also, rumor has it, wait a minute, let me check the list. Someone who's going to be on the WDW Radio Marvel Day at Sea cruise in just a number of hours. Dear sweet baby Jesus, please just let me pass the COVID test and get on board. Time together is the best gift without kids or in-laws. And it's a lot cheaper, too. Alex and Ani bracelets would be a nice gift. Don't get Lisa Alex and Ani bracelets. Like, don't repeat gifts. A balloon would be a fun surprise. Do you mean an actual, just like one of the Disney balloons, or like a balloon ride on characters in flight? Because the Disney balloons are not cheap. I think the Disney balloons are like $22. Like, they're crazy. No, I think they're $12. I think it's $12 now for a Disney balloon. A spa gift at Senses Spa. A Rebus Brothers Swarovski crystal Figment popcorn bucket. Yeah, if you get somebody a Figment popcorn bucket, you know you like, unless you did the eBay thing, which is fine. But if you actually went and get it yourself, you know that you love that person to spend 11 hours getting a piece of plastic. A Disney golf bag, or a day at the Palm when Magnolia Court. A meet and greet with Gaston. Ladies, I don't think some of these things, there's that Gaston, we've got Thor. I'm not sure they are in the list of things. It is $22 for a Disney balloon. Oofa. A balloon ride, I've still never done it. Kate Wallace, add it to your list of things to do. Treat yourself, or tell the person who you'd like to be treated by, like, here's a not so subtle hint. Characters in flight. Let's see. I got to the card. I was in the retention pond. I know, crazy. You better really like somebody for $12. She says it's $22. So Norma says the same thing. Is it really $22 for the Disney balloons? Is it the one that light the sort of the multiple balloons? There's a light up one inside, a second one. Crazy. I collect Mickey Minnie couples heart-shaped pins, so a surprise pin for my collection. That was the other. I was waiting for somebody to say that. Like, if you know somebody is a pin trader, or you want them to be one, like giving them a sort of commemorative pin for each of your trips here, whether it's from where you stayed, their favorite attraction, something that you did together. Those are really nice. And again, not crazy expensive. You can get creative with the displays of them. So exclusive meet and greet. Some of these things that I love the ideas. I'm not sure that they are actually available on the menu. So let me just go back. I missed a balloon ride, Disney balloon ride, meet and greets, another Dooney and Burke, take me on a Disney cruise, a couple's tour of the parks with Lou. I've done that in the past. I don't do those anymore, but I have actually done those in the past. We bought 2 balloons a few months ago. One was $20 and one was $22. The price of poker has gone up. It no longer costs $3.50 to walk into a Disney park. So that, I think, was, well, you tell me, did you like this idea of let's make a list and sharing some of your thoughts on, something like this where, I'll still do my top 5 live, but do you like this idea of us sort of curating these lists together? Maybe as we move forward, we'll sort of formalize it a little bit more. I'll try and get somebody to help me maybe keep track, take some notes, and then give me something to use later on, and then incorporate the list that we make on the live show into a list that we do on a podcast. So thinking out loud as it comes to me. So you liked it, you love it, you dig it. Cool. Like I said, it came to me in the shower about 10 minutes before we went live, and I was scrambling to sort of pull some graphics together. So you guys are awesome. You make it fun. So I'm really, really happy that you enjoyed the hopefully now new segment. Let's make a list. We'll and if you have ideas for other lists that you want me to do that you want us to do on future shows, maybe we'll start a thread in the clubhouse, or maybe I'll create a form on the site and you can submit it there. This way I can keep an accurate and running total. You guys, you specifically, I'm talking specifically to you. You're awesome. You did amazing. I love the creativity. I love how fun you make these things and how you're able to sort of expand and stretch the definition of what romantic is. It literally, for some people, can be from the simplicity of sitting on a bench or a hammock together to walking, through a park, to something that is more elegant or extravagant. Romance is how you define it. So yeah, this was a lot of fun. We will definitely do this again. Now, going forward, speaking of things that we're going to do together, again, I'm doing everything in my power to make sure it happens, but this time next week, we should be on our Marvel Day at Sea cruise somewhere in the middle of the ocean somewhere. I am going to try, as I always do when I do these cruises, not only to do a show on Wednesday night, but I'm also going to try and do a live broadcast as we sail away. Now, things are very different and ever-changing. I was literally printing things today for the cruise that leaves on Saturday because details weren't finalized until today. It's so stressful. It's crazy. But there's no sail away party, but I'm going to try and go live if I can as we are sailing away or while we are still in port. So please make sure to turn on notifications in both the clubhouse and on the WDW page. If you know somebody that maybe doesn't listen to the show yet and is not a member of the clubhouse, please do me a favor. Wow, why is my voice cracking tonight? It literally is like puberty, like kicking in. Please do me a favor, spread the word, share a link, tag me so I can see that you're sharing it out, and invite somebody to come and be part of the community that you have built and the conversations that we all have in the clubhouse, and to take a listen to the show. I hope you've been enjoying the last couple of weeks and my conversations with Tom K. Morris about the origins of imagination, what almost was in imagination, the future of the Disney parks, the overseas parks, some of his other projects. Tom has shared stories, especially about imagination, that I have never, ever heard before. And I really think there's not many other people other than Tom that can actually share them. So please check it out. And we have what I think is a really interesting conversation coming up on this week's show, which I'm desperately going to try and get produced and uploaded before I go. If not, please be kind and patient. I promise I will do it as quickly as possible. If you're not able to make this cruise with us, don't sweat it. I got good news for you. There's still availability on our 4-night cruise on the inaugural of the Wish this June. Go to WDW.com, Disney Wish 2022. You can find a form there, get a free, no obligation quote from our friends over at Mouse Fan Travel. If you can't make that, no big deal. We're going again in December on the Wish for a Very Merry Time cruise. Don't look at the fact that I spelled very with 2 R's. It doesn't matter. You can get a quote for that too. If Christmas doesn't work out for you, that's cool, because next year we're doing, for the first time in ever, an 8-night, count them, not 1, not 2, not 3, 8-night Bermuda and Bahamian cruise with an overnight in Bermuda. It's the thing that I've been dying to do. that should be a lot of fun as well. So, and there's a few other things that are coming down the pike as well. What else? I know I'm forgetting something. I know I'm forgetting a few other things. It doesn't really matter. Again, whether you're coming on one of our group events and excursions or looking to visit anywhere on your own, go and visit Becky over and the entire team over at mousefantravel.com. And I think that's it. I think that's it for this week's show. Thank you again for making it so very fun. I really, really did enjoy this week's show. Obviously, don't forget to wait. Where is it? Come on, I wasn't ready for this. I want to quickly thank all of the new and longtime members of the WDW Radio Nation family. Your support not only literally helps to keep the lights on, but means so much to me. It benefits our Dream Team project. If you want to find out how you can help the show for as little as $1 per month and go all the way up to getting monthly care packages from the parks, please visit wdwradionation.com. Again, if you're not a member of the clubhouse, don't sweat it. It's easy and it's free. And man, one thing you have continually shown, you are the nicest people, forget about Facebook, possibly on the planet. So many other groups, it's just riddled with toxicity and anger and blah, and it just doesn't exist in the clubhouse. Knock on wood. That is all because of and thanks to you. And don't think that goes unnoticed. When we talk about choosing the good, you literally embody that spirit, that philosophy, and I am incredibly grateful to you and for you for that. So with that, some of you I will hopefully see on board. I'm going to cry when I walk on board because I'm so freaked out about it. Hopefully see you on board the Disney Magic in Miami on Saturday. Others of you I will see next week, hopefully right here, not here, but here, Wednesday night for WDW Radio Live. If there's ever anything I can do for you, please reach out and let me know. So until next time, thank you. I love you. See ya.